So, today we're going to tackle one of the biggest, most profound ideas out there, the real relationship between samsara, the whole cycle of life and death, and nirvana, that ultimate state of enlightenment. It's a concept that really challenges us to look at our own existence in a completely new way. So, yeah, let's dive into this non dual gate together. We usually think of them as total opposites, right? One is suffering, chaos, the daily grind. The other is peace, liberation, freedom. One is here, and the other is, well, somewhere else, way off in the distance. But what if that's not the case at all? What if the escape we're so desperately looking for is actually hidden inside the very thing we're trying to run from? Okay, so the text we're looking at kicks off with a massive question that gets right to the heart of this whole thing. And it's not just anyone asking, it's the deity Brahma, and he approaches the Buddha at this incredibly dramatic moment, right as the Buddha is about to pass into final nirvana. So what Brahma's really asking is, hey, this ultimate peace you're entering, is that just for you? For the Tathagata, the one who's gone beyond it all? What about the rest of us? Are we just left behind, stuck in this cycle? You can feel the anxiety in that question, can't you? It's this fear we all have that maybe enlightenment is some exclusive club, totally separate from our messy, ordinary lives. Well, the Buddha's response? Wow. It doesn't just answer the question, it completely flips the whole script. It shatters the entire framework that the question was built on. Honestly, it's one of those moments that just makes you rethink everything you thought you knew. And there it is, the big reveal. The Buddha just lays it out there, plain and simple. He's saying that samsara isn't something you need to escape from to get to nirvana. No. He's saying that the fundamental reality of our existence, this whole chaotic dance of life and death, that itself is nirvana. This is the absolute core of the teaching, so let's really unpack what that means. The Buddha goes on to explain that we're talking about a difference in perception, not a difference in reality. It's like, imagine you're looking at a mountain. For an enlightened being, a Buddha, this very reality we're in is experienced as nirvana. For someone who's unenlightened, that exact same reality is experienced as samsara. The underlying truth, the mountain itself, hasn't changed at all. So if life and death isn't just this endless loop of suffering we need to break out of, then what is it? Well, the Buddha gives us a totally new definition, one that pushes us way beyond our usual black and white thinking. He says samsara, life and death, is simply the manifest and the hidden sides of one single reality, which he calls the Dharma nature, the true essence of everything. Think of it like a coin. Life is heads, the side you can see, death is tails, the hidden side. But you can't have one without the other, and neither one is the whole story. The reality is the coin itself. And to really hammer this point home, the Buddha starts pairing up these concepts that we think of as complete opposites. So life is the manifest, the obvious, the act of coming into the world. And death? That's the hidden, the concealed, the act of leaving it. See? They're not enemies. They're two parts of a single dance. And he keeps going with these mind-bending pairs. Life is all about impermanence, right? But he pairs it with death as permanence. Life is seen as defiled, but death is seen as pure. He's deliberately forcing us to see how these concepts we keep in separate boxes are actually deeply, fundamentally connected. The examples just keep on coming. Life is the world of thought. Death is beyond thought. Life is wrapped up in the idea of self. Death is the experience of no self. Each one of these pairs isn't a contradiction. It's a complete picture. You can't truly understand one without its partner. They literally define each other. And this all leads to a pretty wild conclusion. The Buddha says that this non-dual reality is so totally all-encompassing that it includes everything, from the lowest demon realms to the highest Buddha realms. It's all just the free, unobstructed flow of this one reality of life and death. Okay, so just as the Buddha is delivering this radical, world-changing teaching, something incredible happens. The text gives us this very dramatic, almost cinematic event that basically serves as a powerful, real-time demonstration of what he's talking about. Out of nowhere, a figure literally rises up from the ground, and it's none other than King Yama, the judge of the dead, the lord of the entire underworld. And he doesn't come in anger or fear. He bows to the Buddha in absolute awe, because the Buddha's words have just had a profound and immediate effect on his entire kingdom. And just listen to what he says happened. The very moment this teaching was spoken, the fabric of hell itself was transformed. The fires of karmic suffering turned into golden light. The instruments of torture, trees made of swords, mountains of knives, they instantly burst into bloom with golden flowers. Not gradually, not over time, instantly. And here's the key takeaway, right? The suffering in hell wasn't just erased or destroyed, it was transmuted. It was suddenly seen for what it always was, just another expression of that one single Dharma nature. And in that shift of perspective, in that understanding, came immediate liberation for everyone there. So, after that incredible demonstration, the Buddha brings it all home. He boils this entire teaching down into a series of crystal clear, definitive statements that leave absolutely no room for misunderstanding. I mean, look at this. He says that everything we're searching for, Buddhahood, our own Buddha nature, Bodhi, which is true awakening, even the very act of cultivation and realization, none of it is found by escaping life and death. It's found within it, right here. To look for it anywhere else, he says, is just delusion. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? In reality, there aren't two separate things. We're the ones who create the separation with our minds, with our language. We slap a label on one experience and call it samsara, and we slap a different label on another and call it nirvana. But underneath it all, there's only one undivided whole. And what you end up with is this beautiful, unbroken circle of wisdom. If you truly know samsara, you know the ultimate reality, the Dharma nature, which means you know nirvana. And to know nirvana is to understand the nature of a Buddha, which is the same nature as all beings, which brings you right back to a true, deep understanding of samsara. It all connects. So, we end right back where we started, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. The implications here are huge. Our ordinary life, with all its ups and downs, isn't an obstacle we have to overcome, it's the very field of liberation itself. So if that's true, what does that mean for how we live? How does that change the way we approach our joy, our sorrow, our struggles, and our successes? That's the real question this non-dual gate leaves us with.